Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here. My name is Bob. I'm here with my partner, Coop, and another colleague in Orion. We are here to discuss the postseason matchup between divisional rivals, the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. Coop, first of all, who do you have and what is your score prediction?
For this one, honestly, I have the Vikings for this one. It's going to be a really close game. Should be good, but probably end up being two good defenses, so low scoring. So I'm going to say 24-21 Vikings.
Orion, any insight into this game that you would like to input? Hello. It seems we have lost our colleague Orion, so I'll just skip directly to me. I have this game, like you said, being another defensive back and forth game. If the Vikings can limit the turnovers, which we've seen Kirk Cousins have a problem do throughout the season, then there's no reason they can't finally turn it around and take one of these three matchups. We talk about it a lot. Very difficult for a team to beat another team three times in one season. So I could see the Vikings pulling this one out and finally getting one over on the NFC North champs.
Yeah, because three times in a row would be pretty crazy in one season.
We know they have a huge, big-time, big-play threat in Adam Thielen, who is a contender for the Offensive Player of the Year award, leading the NFL in reception yards and yards per catch. Coop, what do you think if the Vikings were to pull this one out? What do you think they would need to do?
The Vikings, obviously, like you said, need to limit the turnovers. That's a big part of it. And they've just got to play really well because this Packers team, they could come at you, and if you can't stop them and you make mistakes, it's going to be tough to win.
You got that right. Another weapon that we haven't talked about yet, Aaron Jones. He was second in rushing touchdowns, I believe. He had 20 rushing touchdowns on the season, along with 1,504 rushing yards. He is about as dynamic as it gets out of the backfield. The Vikings defense, they're not phenomenal against the rush, but they're not too bad. They are top 10, so it's enough to cause some fits in the run game. And one way we've seen the Packers fall is when they are forced to throw the ball, which is not something we've said about this Packers team in a while.
Yeah, it's just been more of a run-heavy kind of Aaron Jones handed up. But Rodgers is still doing pretty well. Up there in age and still leading some stats.
One thing Rodgers has done phenomenally is keep the ball out of the defense's hands. In a league that's been running rampant by turnovers, it's quite intriguing to see people under 20 at this point. So Aaron Rodgers under that 20 threshold with only 19 interceptions. He is 29th in interceptions, which is crazy to say with a total of 19, but here we are.
Yep, just let him need to not be made. And then on the other side, Kirk Cousins just kind of a iffy year. Like,
yeah. And earlier today, I don't know if people were aware, the NFL or the CKFL honors were announced. We had MVP, Offensive Player of the Year. We had two sections of a Defensive Player of the Year type deal. There was the no-fly zone and the front seven Player of the Year. Defensive rookie, offensive rookie, all that good stuff that you would expect to see. And for the first time in God knows how long, a defensive player takes the MVP, and Obi Melifonwu. God forbid if I butchered that one. But long story short, led the league in interceptions and defensive touchdowns and 18 TFLs. One of the most ridiculous seasons we've ever seen, not only by a defensive player, but just in general.
Yeah, he's been an absolute beast this season and deserves that MVP award. One of the rarities for a defensive player, like he said.
Then you have the Offensive Rookie of the Year, who's the burner out of Alabama, Henry Ruggs III. It's very rare you see three rookies, both with crazy stat lines, but you had the likes of Cam Akers, DeAndre Swift, and of course the winner, Henry Ruggs III. He had almost 1,800 receiving yards, and it's something that obviously they're going to look to build off of, coming off of what was an abysmal season that earned them the number one pick. They have one bright star, and that is Henry Ruggs III. Hopefully, rumor is they may be looking to find a quarterback to throw the ball and pair up with him, saying that Derek Carr's time in Las Vegas is limited at best. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to the interior linebacker, Kenneth Murray Jr., the thumper out of Oklahoma. The man flew all over the field, top 5 in about every defensive stat you can possibly imagine. And another bright spot for a team that struggled last season that they'll try to build off of. 6 sacks coming from the interior position is something they don't see very often out of a 4-3 linebacker. Up next, this is when you start getting to the big boy awards. Offensive Player of the Year. When it comes to threats on offense that have been almost unstoppable, for lack of a better term, one has to mention the man who was dubbed the U-Haul by head coach of the Seattle Seahawks, Nate, Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry has been, like I said, virtually unstoppable and spearheaded the attack for an undefeated Patriots team. Through the air, on the ground, there was not much teams could do to limit Derrick Henry. One could hope that in the postseason, when he's going to face more stingy defenses, this would be a time you'd see someone hopefully step up to the challenge and stop the Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, and going back to Henry, almost 3,000 total yards. Crazy. And 29 touchdowns total. Just absolute beast.
It's not very often you see someone 6'3", 250 with the speed of him, and when they put it all together, you see the results. Up next, we have the No Fly Zone Award, awarded to the best player in the back 7 of the secondary, and as you can tell, Byron Jones, there was none like him, locking down an entire side of the field, and it's not often you see someone that can man up and play zone. You see the likes of Jalen Ramsey and others, but a lot of the time there's a specialist. Byron Jones, with 14 interceptions, locked down a side of the field, made it virtually impossible for quarterbacks to look his way. And when you pair that with the fact he had 6 touchdowns, there was a stretch during the middle of the season with an absolutely ridiculous, I believe he had 6 interceptions and 4 touchdowns in one 4-game span. And it was really a coming out party for the UConn alum. And then we bring it to the front 7 Player of the Year. When you think of front 7, you'll probably think of a pass rusher. But in this situation, you think of Roquan Smith, who, for the Bears defense, was, we use the term thumper a lot when it comes to run-heavy linebackers. That man will shut down an entire run game in the blink of an eye, and that's why you had to award him the front 7 Player of the Year.
Flipping it over to offense, Raquel Armstead, breakout star of the year. Almost 1,700 rushing yards and 30 touchdowns for this Jags team. And that's just rushing. Receiving, added another 343 yards as well. Just absolute breakout performance by him. No one saw it coming.
Yeah, when you think of Jacksonville, you don't think of the high-end talent. You don't think of things like this, but when you see a player like this come out of the woodworks, there is no answer for a guy like him. He's up there with the ranks of a Derrick Henry, with the ranks of an Aaron Jones, and look forward for more big things from him going forward. When you talk about breakout star, there is no one you can mention other than Raquel Armstead. Up next, the Coach of the Year. It's hard to possibly give it to someone who or someone other than the coach of a 16-0 team. But in a league like this, when there were many other candidates, such as the Eagles head coach, who missed out on a 16-0 season due to some unfortunate circumstances, and then you have the coach of the Redskins, who turned that team around. It's it's crazy to think that those guys aren't going to get the recognition that they deserve. But when you come to this Patriots team, 16-0, Offensive Player of the Year, an MVP finalist in Tyrod Taylor, one of the top scoring offense in football, the best rushing offense. It's almost ludicrous what this team pulled off in this season. And I'm hearing a correspondent currently in my ear saying that I said Redskins. How dare I? The football team head coach Orion. And while we're here, let's talk about the football team's not upset victory per se, but they traveled into Los Angeles and took out a Rams team that, despite a shaky regular season, was still expected to make some noise in the playoffs. It's crazy to see how this football team has turned around, and they went into Los Angeles and beat the Rams pretty convincingly almost, and they will be advancing in the next round. Hoping to join them will be the winner of this game, will be either the Vikings or the Packers. And lastly, we have a little token award. It will be the Social Media of the Year award. As we go more and more into the age of social media, we rely on it more, and sometimes fans will rely on their social media to update them on their favorite team, and no one was better at it, and I mean no one, than the social media worker of the Cardinals. Whether it was a phenomenal design or a great game day template, that man was very, very good with whatever he was doing. And that goes over the CKFL honors. And was there any shockers, Coop? What the hell just happened? What's going on with him with the mic? Coop?
Yeah.
Jackson gonna take it himself. Spins inside the 5. Dives for the end zone. Touchdown, Ravens!
Automatic is a habit, you should know it's automated. I've been getting to it, I ain't noticed y'all tape. Brand new chick, she don't know that I can face it. I just wanna know that I can hold a conversation. Listen to the feedback now. Told me that she good, she don't need Jack now. I'm real proud of the stuff she good, cause she good to the place that you pass it. They been trying to tell me about this and that. I ain't chatting with you, we ain't going tit for tat. Trying to tell me how to get the bag. I'm going to get the bag, but I'm getting it. I'm just hoping she don't feel bad. Cause when she do, I don't know what I'ma do. All that I heard that y'all was talking, it was typical. If you don't send me to it, try to do it. Cause I'm open to it. I know that you're missing, but you gon' get through it. I can help you with it if you need that. Go and bring the beat back. Go and bring the beat back. Go and bring the beat back. Automatic is a habit, you should know it's automatic. I've been getting to it, I ain't noticed y'all was hate. Brand new chick, she don't know that I can face it. I just wanna know that I can hold a conversation. Try and tell me what you know about me. You don't know nothing, keep it real with me. She says,
Hey, sports. It's in the game.
welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
So welcome to the NFC Wildcard between the Minnesota Vikings and Green Bay Packers. You got Vibe over here and me, Coop.
Hello,
Through
everyone.
Commentation.
We are going to be in for a phenomenal game between these two as Bailey kicks it off.
Scanlon just so what is the big key right here? This first drive for the Packers.
Well, the key for Green Bay is simple. Establish the run game. It's what you've done all season, and it's led you there. You don't have to rely on Rodgers as his arm gets older and Aaron Jones gets better. And if you establish the run game, anything is possible, especially in the playoffs. We saw what the Titans did last year. So there's no reason for Green Bay not to be able to make noise.
Here we go. 1st and 10. Rodgers hands it off to Jones. Jones to the right side, and he already gets a first down. First play of the game.
There it goes.
Start any better.
Could not start any better. You're already attacking what is not a weakness of this team, but is not their strong suit. And obviously your strong suit's running the ball.
Yep. Rodgers hands to Jones. Jones is going to run it again, and this time he gets stuffed. Right behind
a
the
little
line.
bit of a cluster going on in that backfield. Steinberger was supposed to get up to the second level, but was stuck on the edge. And what we're noticing from this Vikings team early is they're coming out in a lot more of a stacked box to try to set it up and try to force them out of their heavy run package as he comes out with 2 backs in the backfield and a gun set.
Rodgers takes the snap, rolling a little bit, and finds wide open.
I mean, that's their leading receiver, Jay Sternberger. It doesn't really get any better than those crossbody throws other than the guy wearing 12 in green. There is no one better at it except for the likes of Mahomes at this point.
So play action, actually. Rodgers will roll to the left, looking, and just going to throw it away here. But yeah, just Rodgers, even if it's old age, just still near the top of the game.
I mean, it doesn't get any better than Aaron Rodgers for years, for decades, or for a decade and a half. And now that he gets a lot of the load coming off of him going into this season, it really, really does help him. And we've seen him limit the turnovers, which is something we haven't seen much from anyone in the league.
Sick. Keep it up. Rodgers. And finds him wide open. Is that Scantling or Adams? Devontae
Adams, who's had a really, really rough season to his standards. Listen, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Packers try to air it out in the first drive to prove that they're not a one-trick pony.
And Jones is going to run it here, and Aaron Jones is hurt.
And that's very, very bad. He's down on both knees right now. And listen, we say it, Aaron Rodgers is phenomenal, but that offense needs that second dimension of Aaron Jones no matter what's going on. Aaron Rodgers could be as perfect as he wants. If he does not have a run game at this stage in his career, he will struggle.
Yeah, Rodgers needs that load off him. He needs something because he's still good, but he needs that run game.
Scantling, motion across the formation.
And it's incomplete there. Almost caught, but it dropped.
It looks like a little bit of a miscommunication. Adams was coming across the formation on a drag while the tight end was just sitting in what looked like a hitch. And if you've noticed, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers have come out in a lot of 2-back gun sets, trying to keep everything tight and shrink the field and then expand it with the likes of an elite route runner like Devontae Adams. When you have 2 backs like Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones, you can do that. And Aaron Jones back on the field, that's a sigh of release for all Packers fans.
Yep, then update on Aaron Jones' pectoral injury, so he could be back in this game, but we're just going to take it quarter by quarter right now.
Aaron Rodgers hits the flats right there, and they'll stall out. And there's a lot to unpack here when you have 2 teams like this who are both not only have a historic rivalry, but when you're a team that's gotten beaten down twice, there's 2 ways you can respond as the field goal is booted through. The Vikings have lost 2 borderline heartbreakers to this Packers team. And when you lose 2 heartbreakers, there's only one way you can respond when you get a third crack at them in the postseason. It's either with fire and you come out firing early, or you will fold because you're already in your own head to go into the game. We will see how Minnesota does on this first drive, see if they come out firing out of the gates, or if they come out timid, which is a very big side effect of losing 2 heartbreakers earlier this season.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they can respond to that, see if they can wipe away those memories and play their game.
We've seen Cousins love this formation with trips to the left and a tight end to the field, as Jacobs will take the handoff up the middle. And one thing this Vikings team does not do a lot is run the football at all. Josh Jacobs was borderline last when it came to starters in their carries. And right now we see it. They're emptying out the formation early.
Cousins, I'll take it out of the gun here. Change some plays around audibly. Cousins looking, and he finds him.
They find the man who believed
First
he was
down.
robbed out of the Offensive Player of the Year award, and he has a legit argument for it. Adam Thielen, there was not a single receiver better than him in 2020. The connection between him and Cousins has been about as elite as it gets.
They're just going to hand it off here to Jacobs, and Jacobs gets stuffed behind the line. Loss of 1 on the play.
You see the missed assignment by C.J. Ham. C.J. Ham's supposed to kick out the middle linebacker and allow the running back to cut in or out based off that, but he actually went up to the safety, which is mind-numbing as the Packers' leading tackler gets one in the backfield right there.
Yeah, if you block him there, then he's got a lane, and he can get a first down, maybe even some more there.
Cousins with a bunch set to the right.
Around. Takes a snap. Finding Galladay. Galladay, first down.
You almost wonder how this Vikings team got such a stacked receiving core with Lockett, Galladay, Thielen. People thought they were going to lose Diggs and be kind of lost in the water without that 1-2 punch, and by God, have they restocked.
Yeah, and here go Jacobs. Gain of about 5 on the play, so keeping it going.
Josh Jacobs is a very, very good running back when given the opportunities needed. We saw an elite cutback right there.
And they're just going to run it again. And does he get the first down? He reaches.
He's
just short. Inches.
A very uncharacteristic start for two teams that one run the ball heavy, one that passes the ball heavy. Seems that Minnesota's trying to establish some sort of a run game, and the opposite goes for Green Bay. Big third down here.
Yep, trying to establish something early. Get off Cousins, and first down there. Keep those chains moving.
Josh Jacobs with 5 early run plays, and a nice little ISO concept right there. There's 3rd and inches. It's very difficult as a defense, but when you crowd the line of scrimmage to not give up the big play, all he has to do is get through the first line of defense, and that seems like what Minnesota was going for there.
Rocket's just going to take it and get about 2 on the play, so not much there, but this is interesting seeing this Vikings offense just running the ball a lot here. They just keep pounding it.
It's very, very, very interesting. The 29th ranked rushing offense with barely over 1,000 on the season, and they're coming out and pounding the rock down a pretty stout Green Bay defense, the 2nd best rushing defense in all of football. More Vikings characteristic right here is they'll empty out the package.
Yep, and Cousins is going to look, and it's picked off.
And that is number
Jackson.
37, Josh Jackson, the young stud out of Iowa. They've been relying on him to be the opposite of Jair Alexander in the slot or the nickel, following the little speedsters. And Tyler Lockett, there's no one like him. So Josh Jackson does a great job sticking with him on a drag route, which is a lot easier said than done, as this Vikings defense will come out and take over.
Aaron Jones going to run the stretch. And about 3 on the play. So bad start there. Vikings, they just kept on running it, and then the one time they try to pass it, just goes wrong in that situation. Josh Jackson.
Like we said, this Vikings team, they're very, very pass heavy. But one thing that comes with being very, very pass heavy, if you're not careful, is very, very turnover prone. As speaking of turnover prone,
once again, just like that, Wilson with the pick.
It's a very, very key component to playoff football. Football in general, but especially playoff football, is every possession is magnified so much. You can play perfect 3.5 quarters, but that 1 or 2 mistakes you make in the half you don't play perfect will come back to bite you if you're not careful.
And Jacobs is going to get about 3 on the play there. But you can see it's very cold there in Green Bay, being characteristic, just like it normally is. You can see the frost on outside. And that's the end of the first quarter.
I mean, of course, welcome to Lambeau. This is playoff football in Green Bay. It's not going to get any warmer as the day goes on. We got a bunch set to the left, Jacobs flanking Cousins.
Cousins snaps the ball, hands it to Jacobs. Jacobs running, gets a block, first down, and more. He's going to keep going, and he's going to get to about the 16-yard line. Huge gain.
Like we said, Josh Jacobs, when given a chance, is an elite tier running back.
Cousins might be looking for that run game. Keep it going. And they do. Jacobs gets a gain of about 7 on the play, or 6 on the play. So this run game is working for this Vikings team.
I mean, hey, if it's working, keep going to it. One thing that Green Bay is doing is they're leaving the B and C gaps very susceptible when they come out in that bear package. And you see they're down in about a nickel front right now. So expect a little more of a difference here in the run game.
Jacobs gets about 2 yards, but 9 rushes, 64 yards with that one big run. That was pretty good. You'd think this Vikings offense would come out more swinging in the pass game, but it's working right now, so stick with it.
Well,
keep it going.
Green Bay finally making an adjustment that was almost crucial to this drive. Instead, now covering all gaps instead of leaving the C gap unattended to by their 3 techniques.
And Jacobs first down and a touchdown.
Once again, this is almost shocking to anyone that was watching this game. You don't expect the 29th rushing offense to come out and pound the ball down the throats of the number 2 rushing defense in all of football. And it just goes to show you, everything you do in the regular season gets thrown out of the window. We talked about in the pregame show the likes of the 15-1 Eagles, the 16-0 Patriots. Everything they do does not matter if they lose in the second round of these playoffs when they come back to form. These teams, they're hungry. Everyone's records is a clean slate. And as we see right now, Minnesota taking the lead with a very, very uncharacteristic way of running the ball down the throat of the Green Bay Packers.
Must have something in film there, just trying to run it some more, because in those 2 losses against the Packers before, they just did not run it much. Rodgers.
Formation is Lazard.
He's going to truck a man and get to about 31-yard line. 6 yards on that game.
If I'm Green Bay, I think I need to remember who I am. You just saw Minnesota come down in form, what was one of the best drives of probably their season with just the way they were operating. Get back to running the ball. Do what you are familiar with doing. Why are you changing it up in the postseason for no reason?
And just like that, a first down, gain of about 18 there on the screen pass to Scantling.
Valdez-Scantling is used as that H-back, if you will. They'll move him around. He's a little bit of a gadget guy with his speed and size.
Aaron Jones takes a huge hit right there.
Aaron Jones' pec must be feeling okay because he got up just fine after that. That was a kill shot.
I guess that injury must have not been too serious because he's back in right now. They're going to keep pounding with him. Aaron Jones gets the first down. He has open room, and he's going to go all the way for the touchdown. Aaron Jones.
I talked about it on the last drive. When you package everyone to that line of scrimmage, all they have to do is get past that first level. When Aaron Jones got past that 8-man box, that stacked box, there's no one in the backfield of the defense to stop him and stop him from basically just scramming into the green grass. And listen, like we said, this team is formed on the run game. There is no Aaron Rodgers this season without the run game. And we saw it right there. Great play by Aaron Jones.
Yep, they've got to lean back on him just like they've done all season. It's interesting to see what the Vikings will do here after one drive of just keep running the ball, if they're going to stick with that, or if they're just going to start passing now. See if Kirk Cousins gets the catch and about 15 yards on the play there.
Another big hit. We are starting to see the division rival come out in both these teams. 2 big hits in the span of about 3 plays. But nonetheless, that is a first down for the acquisition from Seattle, Tyler Lockett.
Okay, Cousins going to hand it off to Jacobs, and Jacobs stopped right at the line. Thought he might have got a little bit there, but not quite.
This Packers team came out last drive and was pinching their D-line and covering both A-gaps way more than they needed to.
Looking at finding Lockett for the first down. And
Here's
some more.
This air raid attack that we're so familiar with Lockett, Thielen. And one guy who has been quiet is Thielen. Other than his catch in the beginning of the game, you would expect someone like him to make more of an impact so far.
Yeah, just not being targeted much. Just had that one catch, like you said. Seems like this Minnesota's team, because they ran it so much, they're trying to catch the Packers off guard by passing it.
One guy that has not been quiet, Tyler Lockett again.
Yeah, already 3 receptions and 41 yards on the
drive
day.
has been all Lockett. And here comes the Packers in that adjustment that I was talking about earlier. They're covering up the A-gaps way more than they need to and leaving the B-gaps susceptible to a zone concept. And the backside backer did a great job scraping over the top there.
Jacobs just short of the line, makes it 3rd and 1. And we hit the 2-minute warning.
This is what we call in football winning time. The final 2 minutes of every single interval from second quarter to fourth quarter. You close the half, you exit the half, and then the fourth quarter is when you have to put it all together.
Cousins. Looking out of the gun set. Play action. Good blocking. And Cousins is just off on his throw there.
Packers sent a lot of pressure there. A gamble there by the Packers, and it pays off for the time being, but now 4th and 1, and Minnesota has decision time. Minnesota was almost dead last in 4th down conversion rate at a rate of 33%, 29th in the NFL. They'll come out under center here.
And here they're going for it. 4th and 1. This is a huge play here. Right before the half, Packers would have decent field position. Play action, and Irv Smith in the end zone for the touchdown. What a play by the Vikings.
That was just a flat-out pre-snap read. You saw the free safety come out of position going into that play, and Irv Smith and Kirk Cousins communicated perfectly as right down the seam. And like I said, in the playoffs, everything you do in the regular season goes out the window, because right now, they're 100% going for it on 4th down.
Yep, just like that. It's win or go home. Might as well go for it. And Packers are going to take it out of the end zone there. Scantling is going to get to about the 27-yard line to be taken down.
This is a big drive for Green Bay. You have less than 2 minutes on the clock, but still all 3 timeouts. But you don't want Minnesota to get the ball back. Green Bay, I believe, started with the ball, so they cannot afford to go down 2 possessions possibly going into the half with Minnesota receiving.
And Rodgers looking in, he finds his man, Davante Adams, for the first down.
Davante Adams is an elite talent. Absolutely elite. When it comes to route running, his hand strength, he's phenomenal at everything he has done in his career.
Rodgers back in this familiar situation again of just down and little time to go, but that doesn't matter to him. They're just going to run it with Williams, actually, and get about 3 on the play.
Jamal Williams has been a little bit phased out of this offense due to the emergence of Aaron Jones as a true number 1, but he's still a more than capable running back. One could see if maybe he would be shopped in the offseason.
Rodgers screen pass.
Great
Jones
call.
gets about Yeah, 2 on the play there. Or 4.
It was a great call, good execution, but the defensive front coming and adjusting very, very quickly. A missed block here or there, and that screen went from the possibility of a big-time play to just a minuscule 4-yard, 2-yard gain.
They managed that pretty well. Rodgers, and he's going to be sacked. What a play with the Vikings. And they're going to call a timeout.
Now, if you're Green Bay, you start to have the wheels turn a little. You cannot afford to let Minnesota get points before this happens. The opportunity they are presented with right now is one of those opportunities like I was talking about. During winning time, you can put the game away. Closing the half, coming out of half, and in the fourth quarter. This is one of those drives that will be looked back on come Monday morning.
Exactly. Ball on the 20-yard line. 48 seconds left. Minnesota's got both timeouts. Or has got 2 of the 3 timeouts. Looking to see what the Vikings do here. Trying to get in field goal range, take that 7-point lead. Find his man, Galladay, and he gets about 10 on the play. They're going to call his timeout right away.
This Vikings team has made their money off of big passing plays in big situations, whether it's a crossing route across the field. They always have one shot concept in every pass play, kind of like a college air raid offense, something you don't see in the NFL.
And they're just going to run it here with Jacobs. Don't want to do anything. And they get about the first down to the 41-yard line.
That was a very, very good check at the line. You can see that Kirk Cousins recognized a very, very weak front and just told Jacobs, hey, take it and go. You've been phenomenal all game. Get us into field goal range or get us closer at least.
Minnesota calls their final timeouts, 1st and 10. Cousins, audibly and around. Play action. Looking. Can't find anything, just throws it away. Smart decision there.
That's simple. Elite coverage downfield by one of the best defenses in football. And as we can see, Minnesota's looking for that downfield shot. They just can't find it.
Yep, pressure was there. Didn't want to risk a sack or an interception or anything. That's in this situation. There we go, 1st down. And he gets out of bounds, stopping the clock with about 27 seconds left at the 46-yard line.
You can't run the 2-minute drill much better than Minnesota's doing it right now. They have used their timeouts perfectly. They have gotten out of bounds when they need to, and they've thrown the ball away when they need to. Green Bay needs to get a big play. Sack, interception, something.
Cousins going to roll out to the right. And he throws a pick. Terrible play right there. And 58 coming up with the pick, Kirksey.
As much as I want to say bad play by Kirk Cousins there, that is what was an elite play by coverage linebacker Christian Kirksey. Ran with the corner, came back to the in route, recognizing the concept this team likes to run a lot, and just like that, Green Bay avoids almost disaster.
And Aaron Jones is going to take it for 3, and Green Bay is going to call their second timeout.
Six-one look here from Minnesota. Very weird during this situation.
Packers probably looking to bomb it deep here with that kind of look. Seeing what can blow coverage-wise. Rodgers. And just throws it away right before the sack. So 9 seconds left. Just
Both
looking
of
to
these
not turn the ball
teams,
over.
both of these teams looking to push the ball downfield, neither of them having any success. Both defenses know damn well that they can't allow the deep ball right now.
And Rodgers is going to get sacked, and that's going to take us to halftime.
Onyemata with his second sack of the first half to close out the half. And just like that, Minnesota, like we said, turning the tides, whether it's sources of familiarity or just a better football game being played, Green Bay's offense has been held in check. Will we be in check for a second half eruption, or will both teams stay put?
Guess we'll find out here, seeing what this is going to be. This is going to be a close game. Just beautiful play there by the Vikings to get that drill, and then Christian Kirksey stopping Vikings momentum. Or they could have gotten points and been up 7 right now, potentially even 11. The Vikings received the ball.
Vikings still have a chance to put this game into a very, very comfortable position coming out of half. Kirk Cousins in a single back formation with 2 tight ends. Not often you see this.
On play action again. They like that. And it's a terrible pass there by Kirk Cousins, just forcing it.
And that is the result.
About the 27-yard line, Darnell Savage.
That is the result of what was a perfectly drawn up blitz by the defensive coordinator. Through the A gap or B gap comes Adrian Amos, and he sets up an interception that was basically a lollipop. If you're Kirk Cousins, you have to bite the bullet there. There is no way around it. And now this Packers team is in business close to the red zone.
Exactly. Just throwing off your back foot, and even a receiver like Lockett can't make a play on that. Gain of about 2 on the rush there to the 25-yard line. They're going to run it again with Aaron Jones, and he gets to about the 4-yard gain play. So about the 21-yard line.
If you're Green Bay if you're Rodgers in Green Bay here, you need 6. You have not been able to formulate many phenomenal drives against this defense, and they handed you a gift. If you can't take the lead here, it's going to be a little disheartening. And just more miscommunication right there.
Yeah, and just like that, they're trying to get it off quick, and it's 4th and 4. See what this Packers team comes out and.
If you're the Packers, is this 4-down territory?
I don't know. I mean, it's a close game right now. You might as well take the points if I were them, just because it'd be a 1-point game. And that's what they're going to do. And
Mason
it's good.
Crosby, adding on, during this season, he's now 50 for 50 or 14 for 16 on the season with field goals. And a team that doesn't settle for field goals often settles for one right there.
But in that situation, here we go. Huge play almost. Nearly breaking free. One man to beat in that situation, or he could have been gone on the return there.
You want to talk about a play that can break open a football game? We're talking special teams. Special teams is one half of the ball, regardless of what you say.
Josh Jacobs, gain of about 4 on the play, so keeping it moving. That 89 yards, 14 rushes is looking really good right now.
Kenny Clark is a man amongst boys on that field. You would have thought he would have got washed out there, but lo and behold, he fights his way out to the interior, to the outside of the offensive line, and makes the play down there.
Jacobs is going to be tackled there, and he's just short, 3rd and inches yet again.
Listen, power and zone attacking the B and C gap is like taking candy from a baby if Green Bay is going to keep pinching. It creates such a strain on their outside linebackers to maintain that B gap, as you can see, between the left guard and the tight end right now.
And Cousins bubble screen to Galladay, and Galladay gets the first down and just a little more.
That was just picture poison. They could have done whatever they wanted on that play. It's almost too easy with some of the things that have been going on. It's just Minnesota is making the wrong plays at the wrong time and not capitalizing on mistakes and big plays that they're making.
Some audibles again. Cousins looking, and he's going to find Galladay and gets the first down. That speed of Galladay, just be able to turn upfield instantly.
When you think of Galladay, you don't think of a burner because, let's face it, he's a big guy. But he has the capability to move quickly and turn quickly. He's not just a physical guy.
He's just a multi-threat. Great player. And Jacobs is going to does he get the first down? And he does.
That's the easiest read in the book. Slant flats. If the corner runs with him, then you throw it to the flat. If the corner doesn't, you got a slant route right inside the numbers, and that's too easy.
Hand it off to Jacobs, and Jacobs again about 5 yards. So he's just keeping it churning here.
If this Minnesota team can get a potent run game going, they are going to be not only dangerous, but one could say they might be Super Bowl favorites in the NFC. Jumping up from what's a very bottom tier rushing offense to this is very, very dangerous if they can pull this game out.
Just something that would make this Vikings offense just more multi-dimensional. Just give them a little more. And guess about the first down there, a little more. That is how I could play.
To put this Vikings offense in perspective, the top 3 receivers of Minnesota all have more receiving yards than Green Bay's number 1 receiver, which is ludicrous. This Minnesota offense is extremely potent and is extremely scary when they get rolling. It just takes one big play, and God knows how far they can go.
See what the Vikings can do here. Calling 5 wide.
This is a bad offensive matchup. You got more people than you can block, and Minnesota does a great job recognizing that as they'll eat the timeout. Green Bay had something dialed up there, and Kirk Cousins obviously did not like the look he was getting.
Yep, just a big blitz there and just would not have ended well. So good play by the Vikings, but will that timeout come to bite them later? He's just going to hand it off to Jacobs. Gain of about 4 on the play. So this Vikings offense just keeps on moving down the field, getting some big plays here and there, but mainly just sticking with what's working, dinking and dunking their way down the field, and run the ball with Jacobs.
Here's that single back 2-tight package.
And Jacobs, he's got the first down, and he's rumbling, bumbling, stumbling into the end zone for the touchdown.
That was a nice
What a
little wham
play.
concept that broke down in the backfield. Irv Smith came to wham block on Kenny Clark, and Kenny disposed of him quickly. But Josh Jacobs showed elite quickness, being able to get to the opposite side of the formation and just scramble through what's a normally stout Packers defense. And this Packers defense has to be reeling right now. They have been on the field for way too long. Green Bay's offense needs to get a drive going here, or else we are in murky waters for Green Bay.
Drive there going about almost 4 minutes on that drive right. So the Packers need to do something here. Down 8, this is pretty crucial territory for them.
Here it is again, the 2-back set. Strong slot to the right, Devontae Adams flanker to the left.
Rodgers takes a snap. He's going to find Adams, and Adams about 5 on the play, so still going to his favorite receiver there. Those 3 receptions.
Adams has been very, very strong this game, but when they need to push downfield, they haven't targeted him, which is a problem. They've been using him underneath, and Aaron Jones is just locked up again, and I believe that's Daniil Hunter that got there first.
So gain on 3 on the play, but this makes it 3rd and 2. Gotta get this, you think, here. I mean, time's winding down. There's still a ton of time left, but if the Vikings can keep on moving how they are, it's going to be tough. And just like that, Rodgers is nearly sacked. Hit easy thrown, and it's an incomplete pass.
Listen, if you're the Packers, you have to play down to down here. And the point is, you had a 3-man front with 2 running backs and a strong slot to the right. Dropping back to pass there is a detriment to you getting that first down.
And they're going for it on their own 33-yard line. Let's see how this comes into play. Rodgers motions, and he finds Adams, and Adams with the first down. Risky play there, but it ended up paying off.
If Green Bay comes back to win this football game, that is the play everyone should remember. Going for it in that situation not only takes a dramatic amount of courage, but what it does is it reinvigorates what has been so far a stagnant offense.
Scantling stuff there on the bubble pass. Yeah, this Packers offense just got to keep going. Because, yeah, that could have been one of the biggest plays of the game if they end up winning. If they wouldn't have got that, this game could be over right now, for all we know, you know?
Yes, sir. And a trap concept there as Aaron Jones tries to hit it, but this Minnesota defense is stacking the box and trying to force them to play the pass. And Aaron Jones has been virtually negated out of this Packers offense. One thing you might want to contemplate doing is maybe put him in the flats or get a screenplay to him. Get the ball in the hands of your best playmaker without him trying to get in between the tackles.
Rodgers going 5 wide.
He got it, man.
And he's got his man.
What a
Lockett.
grab. Allen Lazard with one of the best grabs we've seen from a Green Bay receiver tonight. And once again, you look back at that fourth down conversion, humongous play for them and reinvigorates this offense dramatically.
Interesting call there, and it gets the first down. That's the end of the third quarter. Starting up this fourth quarter, Rodgers trying to look underneath, and he's got Adams to about the 15-yard line. So keep me going.
You know, there's probably a rule for Aaron Rodgers, and that rule is if I see someone in the 90s dropping back in coverage, I'm going to throw the ball right at them. That's
Aaron
what he
Jones
did with Onyemata.
moving forward for about a gain of 5 on the play. So this Packers offense, once at a weak point over around the 30-yard line, they're now at the Vikings 10, looking to score, make a statement. Jones is going to take it to the outside, and he's going to get into the end zone for the touchdown.
If we get
Beautiful
another look
blocking.
at that, please look at the block by the receiver on the right side. That is the difference between a winning football team and a team that struggles. And as you can see right about, we won't get another look at it, but that was a phenomenal block. And now here comes so far the biggest play of the game to this point. Rodgers dropping back.
Conversion is going to roll out to the right, and it is picked. So great stop there by the Vikings defense on the 2-point conversion, and the Vikings are going to be up 2 and get ball right here with 6 minutes left.
He was looking for his number one target in the regular season, Jace Steinberger, in the corner of the end zone, but a nice play by Brandon Carr to realize what the concept was, a nice little flood levels to the right. And now Minnesota, despite what was a phenomenal offensive drive by Green Bay, will be given a 2-point advantage going into this drive of the fourth quarter.
They've just got to keep this going. Seeing if they can get a little more, but this Packers defense needs to stop. And Jacobs is about 7 there, so keeping it going with Jacobs. He's just been almost unstoppable this game.
I mean, right now, there is no answer for Josh Jacobs. Once again, the Packers making that same adjustment where they're stacking the A and B gaps. They need to start realizing they're attacking the open gaps as soon as they possibly can.
And there's Thielen, and Thielen with the huge gain there of about 17.
Listen, like we said, he has been quiet throughout this game, but when they need a big play, there is no one else they'd rather look to. And now we see Cousins in the pistol looking like a strong look to the left.
Actually, another handoff, and there it is, the Jacobs, and he's stuffed right at the line. So Packers trying to do something here. 5 minutes left in this ballgame.
Packers need to buckle down because if they can run the ball at will, they're going to. But they've shown that. Takes more time off the clock. And I believe Cousins at the line.
For the clock. And he's rolling to the right.
He's got all the time in the world.
And he finds his man. The play there. What a play.
Listen, you can give... I don't care if that is a high school quarterback. If you give them that much time, they will make a play happen one way or another.
Yeah, beautiful blocking scheme there. And Josh Jacobs was just going to roll forward for about 6 on the play. Or 7.
We said it multiple times. They have no answer for Jacobs. And if you have no answer for the run game, you can't win, especially in the postseason. When every single second is meaningful. As Cousins drops back into the gun.
And he's going to look on the screen pass. Jacobs, wide open. And to about the 22-yard line. So if you're Minnesota here, you want to still get the ball going, but you want to be a little conservative and not make a mistake here.
If I'm Minnesota, this is when you recognize your strength and your weakness. Your weakness is turning the ball over. Your strength so far in this game is running the football. Keep running the rock. If you can run the ball and take not only more time off the clock, but eventually punch it in the end zone, this game is over.
Exactly. And then even a field goal, even if they only manage a field goal out of this, still a 5-point game. The Packers would need a touchdown to win.
The ideal strength for Minnesota, or the ideal drive for Minnesota, is take this past the 2-minute warning and score a touchdown. You do that, you might want to start packing the bags for Green Bay.
And Cousins throws it into heavy traffic, but luck goes over. Just over.
See, I got to say, I don't understand that call. Not only do you risk turning the ball over with a throw like that, and we know Cousins trusts his arm to fit it in there, but clock stops. Now you're in a 3rd and long. You're behind the chains. Green Bay gets a stop here. Not only do they have all the momentum in the world offensively, you got a bad man taking snaps from under center and out of the gun on the other side.
And he's done this many times, Aaron Rodgers, and he's still got all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning.
Cousins trying to hard count.
Jacobs, and he's just going to get stuffed. It's about the 19.
Once again, the leading tackler of this team, Oren Burks, virtually unheard of, with 84 tackles throughout the season, coming up huge in what was as much of a money down as it gets. As Minnesota now will take a 5-point lead.
They're going to kick it quick without taking down the clock. And now the Packers have the 2-minute warning and 3 timeouts in just a 5-point ball game.
This is, I mean, if you're Green Bay, you can't be anything more than thankful for being in this game still with the way you struggled offensively. Your defense got to stop when they needed it, and here we are.
Rodgers, he's done this many times before. Same situation. He's got all the time in the world to go 75 yards. Let's see if he can do it again. Rodgers takes it. He's looking. He's going to roll to the right. Take off, and he's going to be sacked for a loss of 3 by Danielle Hunter.
This man was a menace in the regular season with 14 sacks throughout the season, tied for second in the NFL, and just when they need one the most, here he comes to save the day. Minnesota up 5, 2nd and 13 coming up after the 2-minute warning.
That's a 2-minute warning, stops the clock, thankfully, for the Packers. Rodgers going to take it, and he's going to find his tight end for a first down there.
Steinberger had an emergence this year as they'll come out in the no-huddle set.
Rodgers motioning scantily. And he's going to find Aaron Jones for another first down.
They were looking for that concept earlier. They weren't able to find the timing proper as they'll just quickly hand it off to try to sneak
No huddle, Aaron Jones, yet another first down. They're already down to the 40-yard line with 1 minute 14 to go and 2 timeouts.
One critical thing they need to keep an eye on here is maintaining at least one of those timeouts for a few shots at the end zone if they can't drive down the field in a few plays here.
Screen pass, Jones. And he breaks free. He gets to about the 10-yard line. What a play by the Packers, and they're going to call timeout. With 1 minute, 6 seconds left.
The Vikings were leaving the weak set side of the formation open a lot on the edge, and finally Green Bay takes advantage of it.
Big play here. Jones is going to be stuffed right at the line.
That's asking a lot of your left tackle to get up to that second level before Aaron Jones does. Bakhtiari tried to get a hand on him, but just late. And now we have a hell of a sequence coming up here.
Snaps the ball. 40 seconds left. Rodgers rolling to the right. And he's just going to throw it away. Smart decision there. Nearly a huge sack for the Vikings defense.
Minnesota is making life hell down here in the red zone. If you're Green Bay, you need to remember you have 2 downs to get this. Get 5 to 7 yards here, and then if you're lucky, you can punch it in on 4th down.
Boomer bust. Rodgers. He's gonna be sacked, and he's stripped. The fumble is
Daniil
recovered
Hunter.
by Daniil Hunter.
Green Bay tried to get it
What a
all in
play.
one play. They had a mesh concept underneath that was wide open, and Rodgers had his eyes set in the end zone. And just like that, Minnesota will put this one to bed.
Onyemata with the fumble recovery to save this one. So this time, instead of a heartbreaker for the Vikings, heartbreaker for the Packers. But getting the win that counts.
Playoff football. Green Bay sweeps the regular season series, but Minnesota sweeps them out of the playoffs. And at the end of the day, that's all people are going to remember.
And Cousins is just going to knee this out. And that's the end of the game. The Minnesota Vikings beat the Packers 24-19 in this NFC Wildcard.
Are we going to get to interview him? I mean, if either of the guys want to do interviews, I'm fit.
That's actually pretty close to my score prediction. It's 24-21.
24-21? Oh, my God.
Yeah, 2 points away. They would have got that 2-point conversion.
I bet. Coach
So,
Bowles.
what was the thought process in this game to run the ball a lot more, even though it hasn't been working much this season?
AJ scheme. He runs a lot of cover 3. I've run cover 3 the past, I want to say 2 years of Madden, and the run kills me every time.
Now, when you noticed him pinching his D lineman over aggressively, covering both A gaps and having a nose tackle, did you realize that you could eat easily in the B and C gaps?
I'm not gonna lie. I just kind of prayed every run.
Well, prayer brought you to a victory. How confident were you in your defense when Aaron Jones ran that big screenplay down and you had to buckle down and stop them from getting into the end zone?
Oh, I was beyond shitless. I was using Anthony Barr because I thought he was gonna do a crossing route to the right side since he had the ball on the left side of the field. I saw the screen and immediately said, "Fuck."
For your defense to come out and pitch 4 phenomenal plays in an and goal situation there, it had to take a lot of schematical changes, and overall it took a phenomenal effort from Daniil Hunter to close out the season for Green Bay.
I love that man. He's carried this defense I don't know how many times this year. Him, Wilson, who got the first pick, and honestly Smith, even though Smith was on the trading block every week.
Well, at the end of the day, there is no one that can doubt that this Minnesota team is not just that one-dimensional, aired-out team. Knowing that they have this element of a run game, you guys are set to be dangerous going forward.
All right, thank you, man.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.
Well, that has been the NFC Wildcard game. The Minnesota Vikings pull off the win 24-19 over the Green Bay Packers. I'm Coop. That was Vibe. That's the end.